Let's do a thumbnail. No, you gotta like punch me. People will just say it's husband or spouse abuse if I just choke you. Oh, you can't cover my face. Okay. Oh, look at that. Being got loose. It's there for tomorrow. Cammy and I are in a little bit of a fight. Yesterday was our epic date night.
Epic date night.
I thought it was epic.
Oh, it was, yeah.
We had freaking $8 appetizer, kale Caesar salad. You ordered 2 desserts.
Yeah, and coffee. We went to a really...
It was epic price, I know that.
Nice restaurant. Thinking about Ben and thinking about him as my husband. And I realized I really appreciate how he knows how to have a good time. It's funny with him because he like doesn't want to like spend money in certain places, but then he's like really okay with like going for it other times and saying like, let's just have a good time tonight, and yeah, let's order that, yeah, let's do that. Where I feel like I'd be more reserved. And I also said that I think that is a theme that is spread into all areas of our marriage. So also in our sex life, I see it. He pushes me or inspires me to have a good time, to live life more fully. I am not gonna get explicit.
Okay. The point of this was we were in a fight, and so last night is Wednesday night, and we schedule sex 3 times a week. One of those days is Wednesday. I've made other vlog posts as to why we schedule it. Some people think that's really weird and boring, but we do not base our sex life on when we just romantically or hormonally feel like it. Otherwise we'd be having sex.
Because we think sex is more important than that.
Once a month or something like that. Or it'd be this giant, huge discussion to try and figure out when. So it's worked for us. So yesterday night was a scheduled night, and
got to be about 10 o'clock and I just felt really tired. I kind of do this thing where I'm not fully honest with Ben. Instead I said, well, I'm open to it, but my attitude wasn't really super on par.
Yeah, so I was in a weird spot where I was actually okay with not having sex. Her attitude feels important to me, and it felt like she had a crappy attitude. And that really bummed me out. It like hurt my feelings. And I used to not know that that was happening. I used to think, oh, I don't have feelings, I don't care. I just want sex or not, or whatever. Or I would say this like, you're being a jerk. But now we've learned to express our, you know, to be in touch enough with ourselves to say like, oh yeah, that actually does hurt me. That, I mean, another equivalent that we've found helpful would be to say, if she said, hey, let's go on a date night. And I was like, yeah, I'm willing to do that. That's how it felt to me. It's like, okay, there's this thing. And I was really trying to pull out of her. I was like, you know, I'm okay with not doing it, but there's a reason why we decided on the schedule. We can push it back a day. That's like, that isn't crushing to me anymore. That might have been at one point in our marriage.
So then we talked about it a little more this morning, and I kind of realized some things about myself, of just how I don't want to say, I don't want to be honest, and why. Like, why do I not want to be honest? In the past, I would say things like, I'm tired, or blah, blah, blah. That was hard for me to say then, but I said it almost out of necessity because sex was so hard for me. Now, sex isn't as hard for me, and now I feel like, oh, I don't have, that's not a good enough reason, and I also am afraid of the repercussions of me saying that, of Ben getting hurt and pulling away. Because I feel like a lot of women, when they hear Cammie thinks that being tired is not a good enough reason to have sex. Oh, Cammie. Oh, honey, you need to blah, blah, blah. You need to be more blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. To be honest with you, like, I struggle a lot with, like, I think what I would call feminism. I just feel like there's this thing where I feel it's hard for me to be honest, because I feel like a lot of women will come down on that and say, oh, you have every right to be tired and every right to this and every right to that. Well, I don't always feel that way. I mean, I come from a religious background, and maybe it's not all of it's religious. I don't know where it comes from, but maybe I just don't have enough confidence in who I am. All that to say is, like, I know all that stuff. Like, I know that I struggle with that stuff, and it kind of, to be honest with you, it pisses me off when people say that I'm like a doormat or whatever.
Plus, I think there's two things we believe. One is that we should be honest, and you know, if she is tired, I told her I would have rather her just said that and said, I can't do it tonight. That would have been helpful for me to hear, but instead she like kind of like offered her body in this like emotionally distant way that was like, that.
Because I was afraid of something else.
And it wouldn't have really been connecting. It was just like, I don't know, it would have been weird.
So that's my struggle. Like, my struggle is being honest with my husband and saying, but in a loving way, but still being honest and saying, like, this is where I'm at, and having the courage to say that. I'm not there yet.
But we also don't believe that a woman gets like special, her body is her own and she gets to do whatever her want. And in the same way, a man, my body is not my own either. So we like both submit to each other. We do it in different ways, and it's tricky because Cammie, I don't think your issues are because you're a woman. I think it's there's other stuff going on with your personality and background.
Yeah, but that's what a lot of people will see. They'll see, oh, he's a strong man. She's a doormat of a woman. There's
like pro-feminism, pro-woman, pro-man, but then there's like pro-marriage. And I think that's a different dynamic we're trying to figure out. So anyways, long story short, we went to bed last night. We didn't touch each other, did we?
I feel like you did in the beginning. But you do that kind of thing where you're just like, And I know that's like his like
bare minimum.
Fight, touching.
Well, and you're right, it wasn't a fight. I just was hurt, and I didn't feel like, it didn't feel authentic to me to connect in that way until those other things were resolved.
I really thought it was like, you're just being whatever, you're just trying to be pissy at me, and I didn't see it as like genuine hurt. And it was hard for me to see it in the same way for me, like if like I love date night, or I love like talking to him and having meaningful conversations, and if he were to say,
can you
I'm open to talking to you, that would hurt me. And I've come to see this as no different. Like, him wanting sex is like me wanting to have a meaningful conversation. That connection, that's like a connection.
Which, what was weird is I didn't even want sex last night.
Yeah.
I just wanted,
so like, you're hurt that I just wasn't honest.
I think so. I think that maybe that's more what, I was tired too. Yeah. Because
like if he would have said, I'm tired, I can't have a meaningful conversation, I could see how I would take that way better.
But if I said, I can't talk right now, I'm so tired, I would love to talk to you tomorrow, can we do that? But if I was just like, okay, yeah, and then you start talking to me and I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
Or I was like playing video games.
Like I like wasn't raised to really appreciate sex and really say, oh, sex is very meaningful, connecting experience. So I put sex in this other category of, I guess we gotta do this because this is the thing that we gotta do.
For guys.
For guys, yeah. And I didn't appreciate my own sexuality. I didn't appreciate his sexuality.
Or the power that it has in a marriage.
Yeah, and so there was a lot of, but I did appreciate meaningful conversation. So that's been a real journey for me to understand how sex and sexuality in just period, and but then also in a marriage is super important. And is it more important than like connecting over coffee and having a deep, meaningful conversation? I don't think so. I don't think so, but I do think it's just as important.
So Cami apologized to me for what?
Well, first I feel like I was trying to figure it out. I was like, what did I first say? I think I said,
well, first you said sorry I couldn't have sex, and I was like,
which, yeah, that's a little weird to say. Well, I don't know.
Well, I wasn't, I don't think I was hurt by that, or I don't think you did anything wrong by.
Yeah. I think I said I was really tired, and then he said, I wish you would have just been honest and said that. And so then I realized, oh, you know what I am sorry for is just not being honest with you. I didn't realize, A, that I wasn't being honest, and B, how hurtful that is to you.
What should I apologize for? I mean, I want to love you regardless of if my feelings are hurt, and I don't think I did a good job with that.
I feel like you pulled away still. At least I felt that. I mean...
So you think that should I apologize for that? Or is that a wrong thing?
Withdrawal. Well, you're like...
Because I wasn't doing it like on purpose.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wasn't like trying to manipulate you. I just was...
Maybe I could say like, hey, it hurts me when you withdraw, when I feel like you're withdrawing after you got hurt.
All right, well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you in that way. Is our fight done?
I forgive you.
Okay, cool.
Is our fight done? I hope so. I hate fights.
I guess that's our vlog today. This was just gonna be like a 2-minute thing, but now we ran out of space. Let's show them this.
Okay.
I'm really excited about this. So we didn't have Filia's shorts, you know, she didn't have letters on them. And I showed you guys these little things I made. Because
Filia's shorts.
when in high school, I never lettered, and I did sports, so I figured, you know what, I'm gonna letter all my kids. So I made these little things out of like that felt stuff you buy at craft stores. And this is, whose are these, 7s? Because he grew out of his old ones. Look at that, my mom made them now. That's Chris.
This is Filia's.
And these are Filia's. These are your marathon shorts. What do you think about those? Look how crisp that is. That's like a brand new letter. That's gonna be awesome on race day. Thanks guys for listening. I hope this helps some of you. You guys said in the comments that the reality and the fights is what your life is like out there. So we hope hearing about how we deal with ours at least gives you a reference point and a talking point with your partner, spouse, friends, family.
At least makes you feel normal too, right?
Today would be a run day, but we're not running because we're resting for the marathon.